It is Thursday, the 11th of October 2018. I'm on my way to court as a witness. It's a case that Gateshead councillors brought against an individual. They're seeking an injunction against an individual who has carried out a campaign of harassment and intimidation against councillors, and indeed I was caught up in that net as well because he ambushed me a couple of months ago, and that is the reason why I'm a witness. Now, his argument is that Gateshead Council has somehow entered into some kind of agreement with the government, so it's the Labour Council entering an agreement with a Conservative government to test out a weapons system whereby 5G transmitters are attached to all our lampposts and they're being used to kill people. Now, the claims are ludicrous, but he is entitled to believe what he wants to believe, despite all the evidence to the contrary. But what he's not entitled to do is to carry out campaigns of aggressive harassment and intimidation against councillors and council workers, hence the reason for the injunction. So I'm off to Newcastle Quayside Courts now, and I shall be giving evidence sometime this afternoon. Court case now over. As you can see, I'm not in my suit now, I'm in my old knockabout clothes, and I'm actually on one of my allotments. And the case, if you heard what the 5G protesters were saying at the end of the case, you would have thought they'd actually won. But what's actually happened is that the injunction, most of the injunction against the individual concerned, as Mark Steele, has been upheld. And he is now, the injunction says that he is not allowed to harass or intimidate individuals from the council, staff or councillors. And obviously the example of the ambush they did on me when they filmed me whilst on private property, I might add, whilst shouting and screaming abuse at me. That was that video that they made themselves and put up on the internet was actually part of the evidence that was used to make sure that the injunction challenge was in effect failed. The important thing is that the injunction didn't stop the individuals concerned from believing what they want to believe and to say what they want to say about the things that they believe. So no gagging order, and I think the judge was absolutely right to make sure that there wasn't anything that could be construed as gagging people. And as I said this morning before I went to court, we don't want to silence people. They are free to believe what they want to believe, whether there's any evidence for it or not. But one of the interesting claims that the 5G campaigners made is that all my bees had been killed off, and I'm actually standing next to one of my hives now, and apparently this hive, according to the 5G protesters, is absolutely dead. Well, it is actually quite late in the day, and it is in the middle of October, but it is quite warm at the minute, so some of the bees are actually coming out. Now, there's not actually many bees around and about at the moment, but so much for this hive being dead. It is not dead, it is very much alive. And even the judge acknowledged that the bees had had a good year this year, but the 5G protesters claim that the transmitters that have been fitted to each lamppost in Gateshead are 5G, which they're not, they're 2 and 3G, so it's very old technology, and that these transmitters are killing off all the birds and the insects. Well, I've got to say, that is not a shred of evidence for that, and even if 5G did do that, it's not installed on the lampposts. And the point about the 2 and 3G technology that we have on the lampposts is it's just a little transmitter so that the lamppost can report to a central control if there's faults, or the timings of the lighting on and off can be changed, or that an instruction can be sent to dim the lights. That's all it is. It's like a primitive mobile phone in each lamppost, and it's a much more effective system, much more efficient to be able to control the lights as well. But the 5G protesters don't believe that, but as I say, they are free to believe what they want to believe as long as they don't harass or intimidate people. And that's what this case today was all about. They've gone away thinking that they've won, and actually what's happened is they've got an injunction out against one individual. The council has an injunction out against one individual, and the vast majority of that injunction stands and is in operation. It's now coming up to 8 o'clock, and I've come up to Marley Hill. It's rather dark outside, and I've got the car light on in here. It's the Bladen Lib Dem monthly meeting, so I shall be here to give a report as group leader.